Buon pomeriggio a tutti. Cominciamo finalmente questa conferenza. Abbiamo avuto un po' di problemi tecnici, scusateci per l'attesa. Io sono Marco, per chi non mi conosce ancora, che con Daniela coordino questi workshop insieme allo staff. Due brevissime parole sugli architetti che oggi ci racconteranno il loro lavoro. Lo studio di Julio, Gaeta e Luby Springall si trova in Messico. Le loro esperienze in realtà si sono dispiegate, diciamo, in diverse realtà, sia in Europa, dove ha studiato anche Luby. Julio è stato visiting professor qui allo Iuav diversi anni e recentemente hanno fondato anche una nuova scuola di architettura, Fábrica de Ciudad, che credo sia un esempio importante del loro impegno anche nella didattica. Il loro studio si occupa di progettazione a diverse scale e molti dei loro lavori si sono distinti con molti premi e in diverse pubblicazioni. Passo la parola a Julio e Gaeta, che spero si possano mettere a loro agio, ecco, e anche noi possiamo in un qualche modo approfittare dell'opportunità di averli qui con noi, anche se online, sperando di abbracciarli presto. Grazie.
Tanti grazie Marco, grazie Daniela, grazie a tutti. Io parlo un po' italiano, ma preferisco parlare in inglese. Noi siamo qui con Luby, siamo Gaeta Springall. So sorry for this delay, but I know I hate this platform of Microsoft Teams, but okay, this is the platform we have. So we will start with a presentation.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Sorry for the delay. And we're going to talk about different approaches to architecture and the city. And we always say that we work for the city and we work for the people. We have many projects in different scales, as Marco said. And we're going to start with a very small scale that we did after the earthquake of 2017, in which many houses, especially in the poorest zones in Mexico City and some other on the southern part of the country, fell down. I mean, there was lots of things that were destroyed. And this is the first approach we did, was a study about working with, it was a little bit before the earthquake, I'm sorry, but it's related to it. We began working with rural communities in order to create a house, a prototype that would help them live in better conditions of what we can see here. I mean, they are very poor and they don't have water, they don't have streets, they don't have pavements, they don't have anything. So we were planning to make a very small house. It is 45 square meters that would be repeatable, and it is set in their own pieces of land where they work. Marco, okay, finally, sorry. So we began working with this model, and then we constructed, and with some changes in this community that's near to Mexico City, which there is a family that lost their homes, and we donate them this project, and they build it with us. Well, not with us, but with the community that the organization that was also working with them. And at the end, this is the result. A very simple house. This is the area of the kitchen that it's completely open, because I mean, if you go to these little houses all the time, the kitchens are completely black because of the smoke it generates. And afterwards, we went to the beach, to the eastern part of the country, to the Pacific beach, seaside, And this is San Mateo. This is the family that also lost their home, and we designed this other little house that it's on pilotis, and it's going to be, I mean, it has to be resistant to earthquakes, to hurricanes, and all the terrible things that happen to mostly all the most vulnerable people. These are the three little houses we built. The families are really happily living there because now they feel secure, and we use the traditional materials of the area in order to make it work correctly in climate and all the ecology and nature in the area. So this is, they were really happy because they couldn't believe that architects would be doing their homes. We think that architecture should go to all people, not only to certain people that have the possibilities to pay the fees of the architects, but it has to be to get to everywhere. And this is another, we've been working with this kind of form and materiality. This is a prototype that we did of out of 32 more. This is a study that was made by the Institute of Dwelling in Mexico, and they invited 32 architects to build a prototype of different homes. This is ours, and it's a very nice little home in which it has like this form, because we are looking for circular ventilations and trying to put the kids in the upper part, separated from where the parents sleep. And this is, I mean, the spaces that we are creating. The materiality is brick, understanding that brick is one of the nearest materials, closest materials to humanity, because it's earth, and we've been working with brick since 5,000 years ago. So it is part of our unconscious collectiveness. So this is a house. Then we have another project. We work with migrants also.
Migrants is in Latin America, you know, refugees.
The refugees that come from Central and South America, cross Mexico in order to go to the US, to the United States, and they cross Mexico. But crossing Mexico is really dangerous because they are mobs, they are raped, they are killed, and they used to travel above this kind of train. This train is called by them like it's the beast, because it's a really hard trip they have to do. So we went to a community that fits them, that is next to the railway tracks, and we have a few days working with them, and it was really moving. We studied how is the migration from Central America crossing Mexico. We have several routes, and there's 400,000 migrants every year that go from Central America to the US. I mean, and this is the places where they mostly come from. And these are the guys that we make friends on this weekend we pass with them. This is the way they travel. There's lots of women and kids, and I mean, and they are risking their lives in order to get to the US, to get to the border, and sometimes they don't even know if they're gonna be able to cross. This is a place where there's some ladies that they feed them, they throw them food to the train, and it was really moving because they are risking their lives every time they try to pick up the food and the water they are given. We took some students and we all were really moved. After studying this, we have been doing several refuges so that they can receive, for example, this refugee is next to the tracks in the desert in Mexico, like 3 hours away from Mexico City, And this is the place where they have to wait during the night, in a freezing night, and then at 9 the refuge opens their doors to give them breakfast. So we did this little project in which there was some dorms on top of it, so that they wouldn't be sleeping out here and just have somewhere to sleep. And we are now building this one in Monterrey, in the northern part of Mexico. This is managed by a Jesuit priest that is in charge of it, and it's next to a church, and this is a refuge for 100 beds. This is turning out to be an important one because it's the first one that it's the second one. We did one in Mexico City as huge as this one, but this one is the first that it's to be done just for it. It's not an adaptation, it's a new project for the refugees that are trying to move north. These are some of the images. We work very much with brick. We think it's really important. And from now we're moving to a different kind of projects. These projects are in Mexico City. This is the poorest, this is the eastern part of the city. The poorest part, it's the slums. And this is called Iztapalapa. Here we have, there's almost 2 million people living. You know, Mexico City has around 20 million people, but in this municipality, there are 2 million people. In the poorest conditions, violence, there's lack of water, and these are irregular settlements that began like 50 or 60 years ago, and they just stop here because here we have these mountains, that is La Sierra Santa Catarina, and it's very interesting part of the city because you always see this kind of architecture that appears vernacularly, and sometimes there's some actions of color to bring color to those places. But look at this. I mean, this is like a desert in which there's nothing green. There's no public spaces at all. There, I mean, the people in jail are the highest percentage of the people in jail, the men in jail, come from these places. But these places, they also suffer. These are some images of the earthquake of 2017, in which lots of people lost their homes, especially in this area, because also these accidents because of the earthquake are appearing, and we don't know when they will be appearing. It's because also the water is taken out from the subsoil to give the water to the city. So they have awful soil, they have floods problems, they have floods every year, but at the same time they lack of water. They are lacking of water, so they have to buy it, or they have to take them by trucks. And also that this is very interesting, and we put this image because this is like the idiosyncrasy of the people that lives here. I mean, every Holy Week, they have a crucifixion, and they practice it during all the year. So in this part of the city, we have just finished 2 projects that are called utopias, because those are the, I mean, they refer to another name. But what we are doing here is that these utopias, these are public spaces that will help more than 60,000 people lacking of public space. This is the first one. This is the land. This is the highway that takes to the southwest of the country. It has lots of traffic, noise. It's a big barrier between this part of the city and this other part of the city. So our main concept was to create an urban forest, and we had, this is an image that we use how to explain the people that it was really good to have trees in their areas. And this is the project we did. These are some umbrellas that we use. Now you're going to see them, but to cover the swimming pool and an auditorium. These are workshops. This is the forest. The major wanted to put an airplane in which the children could learn. It would be a library airplane and some sports facilities. So this is an image, an image of how it's now. The program is really simple. It has cultural program, workshops for music, for dance, whatever, social workshops, social facilities to work with children, with women, women's gender perspective, sport facilities, recreative, outdoor facilities and services. So we work with these umbrellas because if the soil fails here, then we would only lose one element and we wouldn't lose all the building. We also work with water. It's I forgot the word, I'm sorry, but I mean the rainwater would be captated here, and then it would go here to create a wet garden during the rainy season, and then it would go to a water regulator to the subsoil. So we're working with the water. It's really important because we have to. There's a place. This is a place in which there's no water, so we have to harvest it all the time. We also, this is the auditorium. Here is a playground. This is the swimming pool, and these are the social workshops. And this is part of these are images of the construction. We like very much the construction stages because you can see something really, sometimes it looks even better than when it's finished. And this is the finished project. This is this garden that during rainy season is going to be full with water. Here are some fountains. These are the umbrellas. The garden, I mean, it still has, I mean, the forest still has to grow. These are some images. This is the inside of the auditorium. We did this with a very, very little budget. We had only 3 million euros, and it's like about 5,000 square meters built. This is the inside of the workshops. These are the dancing and visual arts workshops. This is the exterior. And the other one, I'm going to go faster because we will be running out of time. This is the other one, that it's Santa Catarina. This is a different solution, but it's a similar, the same concepts. The program is the same, but I mean, it's also a forest. But the water here, there's water, there's some fountains for the kids to play. This is the program as well. And these are the workshops. Now the workshops up here are the art and cultural workshops. Down are the social, and this is the auditorium and the swimming pool and the open gyms and all the services, and this is the auditorium as well. These are the materiality and the facades that we are working with. This is the inside of the workshops. Some of the images from the exterior. So these two facilities, these two public spaces are very important to recover the social fabric that it's lost because of the huge violence and all the lacking things they've got.
Talking about these two projects, we have to say that they are finished. The construction is finished, but they cannot open now because of the situation of Mexico. You know, of the coronavirus. We have this problem, and now we are more than we have more than 30,000 people dead. So now we are living a difficult situation because the government is telling us that okay, you can restart, but on the other hand, we have all these numbers that is very bad numbers. Okay.
These two projects were designed and built in 1 year, so it was a very stressing way of working.
In another part of our presentation, we have these 6 scales, 6 kind of projects, but thinking about the dimensions and the amount of people that we touch with the architecture, we think in these 6 scales: individual, collective, you know, urban collective, urban social, and urban social. All these projects, we did it by competitions. The first one, the 2 first, no, I think the 4th biggest are in national competition. So it has to do with this kind of dimension, relationship between them, that we are perhaps, this is about dimensions, but we prefer to talk about this. So when we are talking about this project, we are talking about towers. So we are talking to more than 1,500 people. And this is a cathedral that we are now building. And those are parks, the memorial and also the urban, linear urban park. So I think we are going, it is impossible to do it today because of the time, but in a very, very quick presentation, this is our studio and our home also. So the first image is the first construction that we received, and then we did this addition. So this is the first one, and this is the box that we add, and it was our studio for many years, for 13 years, and then we moved to our home because we were exhausted to have our office
Up
above.
in our home.
Yes, in our home. So it was, and now we have this kind of relationship between, it's the same relationship between the interior part and the exterior. This is the bedroom zone. And this is another project with 4 houses in a very, very particular, remarkable site. It is, you know, like this very accidental site. And we did there 4 boxes, like towers. So we did this, those are, you know, rendering from these days. It is 10 years ago. Yes, almost. So the plans, they are very simple with 4 columns. And okay, and this is the model. So a very simple volumetry, and with a very good relationship between a private bridge with this house, this bridge house, you know, this is the relationship that I'm talking about. So it is a very nice project. We liked very much, with a very important structure that we can do this in a very, you know, modern language. So this is the like of towers we did there. And talking about towers, we had the opportunity to to do these two very high-rise project with 43 stories. So we are here. This is but we received, you know, because we were a change in the economy and the situation in Mexico in this year, 2008. So we received this project. This is not ours, luckily. So we did some changes in order to, you know, to rationalize. So this is the tower, and we did this square form, and this is the ground floor. So we won some the possibility of doing this tower taller. So we did this, and this is the model. So this is one of a private competition, the result of a private competition. So this is the Sirocco Tower. So we did these movements like rotation, you know. And then the client gave us directly the second project, that is the other project. This is Mistral. So we did rotation in the first option, in the first tower, and the second one we did this translation, you know. So we like it to work with concrete in white, gray, and black. And then is, you know, the client in general changes the original architect's ideas. So it is another material that is like a precast. Yeah.
What is concrete?
It is concrete, but another concrete. So this is the final result. They are not finishing the second tower yet. And this is the view from the new park. There is a new park there now. So the project improving the visibility. So we won this, in general, I like to say to my students that be careful with you have lakes, because if you have a bad project, they are going to be double bad projects. So in general, I prefer to work with good projects. So this is the other project that Luby is going to explain.
This is a cathedral that we won also in a national competition, in which in Celaya is a city 3 hours away from Mexico that it's really having big problems of violence. And it's a concrete cathedral. We studied all cathedrals. I love cathedrals. I mean, we've visited many cathedrals. So it was a theme that I wanted to do because it's an important one. It's the place that takes you to the metaphysics place. It's the place that tells you who is the God and who is the human. It's the place that you have to work with the penumbra and the light in a very special way. I mean, it's an important place. So this one is very simple. It's a triangle and has a triangle light on the presbytery at the end. It's a very used resource in some other temples, but the thing that is difficult with this one is that it is 30 meters high by 20 meters wide. So this is the cathedral. I mean, it had to be a big cathedral. The resources that they've been with which it's gonna be built, or it's being built, it's with the resources of the people, of the believers. That's amazing. The labor of one of the priests that it's managing the construction of the cathedral, how he's managed to obtain all the resources. So here is the main temple, the cathedral, and these ones, the first image we saw from it is one of the chapels, Juan Pablo II chapel, and we have these chapels just attached to the main temple. Originally, we were going to build it in concrete, cast it in the sides, but we decided that it should be with precast elements, and this is what they are doing now. This image is from last week. They just started to build these columns, and this height is 30 meters. So it's a huge piece. You can see here these elements that are, I don't remember the name in English for them, but they are carrying with the trucks all this triangle, this structural triangle, that it's going to be 16 of them. This is 2 meters and this is 1 meter, but it's 80 centimeters wide. So they don't seem very big, but if you get there, I mean, they are really huge. So we are really happy because we thought it would only be a project and it would never gonna be built, because cathedrals, it's part of the cathedrals. Cathedrals have, as you know, have always taken hundreds of years to be finished. And I hope that this time it only takes about 10 years or so.
But, yes, but take a look at this kind of element of animal. There is a truck, a big truck, a huge truck. So you can compare the mini structure with this. So you know we are very, very excited now, because there are very recent pictures that they did last week. And it took us 4 years to finish the project, because I mean, this is a huge engineering. I mean, we are hiring the ones that are building the company that's building this. It's a company that is specialized in precasting elements, huge elements. They built in Mexico City all the second floors of the Peripherik. So it's interesting. Someday it will be finished. We hope they won't take so long, but it's been an interesting way of working with them. And now we are going to one of our favorite projects, that it's the memorial to the victims. Perhaps because of the time, it is going to be the last one in the presentation. So this is a very, very important project. Oh, sorry. Oh, a very important for us. It is the memorial to victims of violence in Mexico. We won this national competition in 8 years ago, and we did this project with a very, very simple concept, with all these walls in curtain steel. This has to do, you know, with a very sadly frequent views that we have in Mexico, the violence.
Yes, just to give you an introduction to the violence in Mexico, perhaps you already know about it, but the drug dealers, the drug gangs, have become very powerful. And since we have the U.S. next to our neighbor of the north, it's the country that is the biggest consumer of drugs. Then all the border with Mexico and all the drugs from South America, and then the drug from Mexico, has make a war in between all the different cartels. So it's when we did the memorial, every day in the newspapers, the newspapers would say, no, now we have 80,000 victims, and the next day they would say, no, it's 50,000, and the next day they would say, no, it's 120,000. Nobody knew how many victims of the violence and all the cartels and all the organized crime was the right number. So it was the worst issue in Mexico, and it's still.
So thinking about this subject that we still are in this problem, big problem. We think and we have this kind of analog. This the border with Mexico and the Tijuana border. The one that this crazy guy is talking about this that
the wall that
the
Trump
wall
wants
yes
to build.
Yeah, so this is the kind of material that we were talking about, and so we thought about this and we started to do all these drawings, and perhaps we think in another artist that has to do with this guy that the Argentinian guy who worked in Italy. Sorry, I now I forgot this. You know, this artist. Which is the name? The name? No, the name is no.
Lucio Fontana.
Lucio Fontana. Sorry. So it's like these marks in the lienzo. I don't know the name. And all these memorials that we can see in Berlin, you know, and of course this memorial in Washington, the Mayalin, and of course this memorial of Eisenman that it is in Berlin. So instead of this forest of blocks, we thought about the idea of a forest of walls. So this is a memorial that it could be transformed in a natural way because of the destroying of the wall of Berlin. And this is our site, the Chapultepec forest, the Chapultepec park, that is the big green part in the city. So how can we do a subtle but in other hand a very strong structure project? So this is our site, and this is the kind of the parts of so the access and the path and the walls, and we have these different layers that we have the walls and also the natural parts, the trees. And thinking about the material, this is the structure, but the big thing is this this material that Serra use in general, this very important artist, this curtain steel. So this is the material, and with this we can see now this picture of the construction, the process of the construction.
When we were working on this project, I mean, this kind of projects have to be full of all the parts of the project have to have all the meaning, because if not, it wouldn't be strong enough to work as a didactic space. A memorial is a didactic space. So we have very few elements. We have the walls, the steel walls, the steel walls that, and we chose the curtain steel because it reminded us how the steel is transforming through time. As we transform, the humans transform in time. We are born and we don't have any mark in our skins. And as we grow, we begin to have wrinkles and marks and whatever, and freckles and everything. And the same thing happens to the curtain steel. When it came, before we put it on the structures, it was beautiful. It was smooth and perfect. And now it's completely rusted, and it's also beautiful, and the color changes. If it's a rainy season, it's more red than when it's the dry season. And so these walls would be the support for the words of expression of a society that it's sad and angry, and it's desperate because lots of people have been killed, and good people, nice people. So we use this, I mean, we designed this space as a space for expression. in which you could go and draw whatever you want, write whatever you want.
Yeah. And talking about the kind of scale that we thought and we work in order to have is the relationship between these giants as the walls giants with this little girl, and this other picture that I like very much, because perhaps this architect is having this picture, but perhaps are the giants, these walls, that they are watching her. And this is our
dear friend
Juhani Palasma watching the project. And this is one of the first ideas that we have, because the same that Luby was talking about, we thought these walls as black walls, when where the people can go and write and paint and express all the bad feelings that they have. And okay, this is in the reality. So this is the kind of message that all the people live every week, every day, you know. And on the besides that, they put all these names that has to do with victims. We, as the architects, as the you know, the owner of the first idea, we don't have to do with this, but has to do with the people. So we like it very much, because it is the other project. So we did all these walls, but the people do all this, you know, all this meaning, all this high concept.
The memorial properly. I mean, we did the place, and society has to make the memorial.
Yeah, because of the appropriation. So all these drawings has to do with the project, with the real project that they are changing every day and every day. So this is a video, but we cannot see. Ah, okay. So it has to do because it is a memorial, but also it is you know, a public space. So the people can draw, can play, can this parkour are always there, or perhaps they are writing and touching this material. So all these drawings are with chalk, yeah, with chalk, and you can see the names, thousands of names. Okay.
And so there's water. We put water because water is the symbol of life. Life began on water, and water heals. And these are the guardians that that contain the memories of all the people that is gone because of the violence.
And talking about the night, you know, the forest disappeared, and we did another forest with lights. So we just illuminate just the border of these walls. And we have a very good friend that is he's the best illuminator here. He's an architect, Gustavo Avilés, and he did this project. So I think this is the finish, because we are on time, and we have another project, but I think they are going to run a lot. I don't know, what do you think, Marco? If it is okay, we can finish here.
Yes, I think we can finish here, because I want to say something too. just
okay.
Just to do a little conversation to close your wonderful presentation about your work, because I was thinking on something that after, at the end, with the memorial project, I think it could be a good observation, something like that. I was thinking on you show us through your works many landscape. I mean social landscape. When you show us the first work that you show us, these little houses for people that live in emergency, but also a urban landscape, but also a memory landscape with this last project. So I'm curious because in Mexico, I think you are showing us that in Mexico, architecture work on move through different landscapes, and I think it's a rich context. What do you think about it? For us, as an architect, I think Mexico is a so rich context where to work.
Well, yes, and I like the lecture you did about all the projects. Yes, Mexico, it's such a it's a big country, and we have many layers. I mean, nowadays the world is full with many layers, but if we go to Mexico City, most of the works we show you were in Mexico. Yeah, it's such a rich place in different layers. I mean, there's very different social sectors that ask for different things, and there's we have a wonderful weather, and that helps a lot. I mean, the memorial, it's in the main forest in Mexico City. It's a legendary forest, and that's very important for the site, for the project. I mean, we generated a forest of walls in a forest of trees. So it's also a very important part of the landscape. The towers that we show you, they were also part of the skyline of the new, a very big new area that it's been built since 40 years ago in Mexico City, like the new financial area. So it's a different kind of landscape. Yes, I think it's kind of, and then in the same city, we are working in very little houses, or we are working in our, we didn't show it, and we don't have time, but a very long park of 4 kilometers long in the middle of the city that is a railway track as well. So there's lots of opportunities to work in Mexico. It's a rich natural area, rich in a more metaphorical aspect. I don't know if I answer you.
Yeah.
Yes, you answer me, and just I wrote while you are speaking. I wrote the sentence that what I see in the memorial is that the memory is a social build. It's a social building. I don't know how to say very well. People work on producing this kind of drawing on the iron. Give to memory a life. Keep alive the memory. So I think it's very interesting, this idea to produce a memorial that remember us something that happened, but meanwhile the memorial is alive because the people produce something on it, with it. I don't know how to explain very well. It's a memory, it's like a common space. The memorial tell us that the memory is a common space that we are working together to do it, to produce this memory. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, I agree with this, Marco, because in general, we like very much this image that we can talk about an alive memorial with the people playing and interacting with the project. Nothing worse that if we have as architects a project that could be, wow, nice and beautiful, but nothing to do with people. So in general, we work, we like to work with people before and during the process of the projection, because we want this kind of project that we can be part of the city and be part of the people. This is the most important for us, and in general, as professors, we want to talk these kind of things with our students, you know.
Yes. A last thing. While I'm viewing the video about the people that give the food to the migrants to the USA, one of these video that you show us at the start of the lecture, do you understand which video I'm meaning?
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking in a pedagogical way that us as architects, we aspire, I don't know how to say, we want to do the same. We want to produce, to help something to live better in some way. I don't know. The video are showing us a so strong condition, not so so positive condition about these people. But when we design, I think we are doing the same in a different way as an architect. We are produce something that serve to people to live. I don't know if you do you ever think that this video speak also about our professional aims? I don't know.
Yes, I think, you know, in general, we are very touched with this with these days when we took all these students and some professors to this experience with the migrants that we were passing in these days for this zone, and this contact for us was amazing, and I think as you are telling us now, that has to do a lot with our lives as professionals, as persons, because I think we have this profession that has to do with service with people. Okay, sometimes we have to do some very elegant home, but in general, Luby and I, we prefer to work with this kind of social programs and with kind of social projects that has to do with people. And this kind of project, I think that we can do the project, but the project do for ourselves. The project did changes with us. We are not the same at the end of this project. Okay, so I think we can talk a lot of this kind of project, and this special project that has to do with migrants. We started 5 or 6 years ago. Yes, 6 years ago. We did a special organization that the name is Architects with People, and we did several projects, and of course we did all this project ad honorem, without fees, and we are working now with UN, yes,
United Nations,
ACNUR, that they are paying for these constructions, not the project, and now we are still working in them, but this is a very permanent work. And sometimes we are doing this in the academic part, but in general, every day we are working in our office. So I don't know if I answered your question, but I think it was an opportunity to talk a bit more about this.
Yes, I think the same. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Julio and Luby. Espero verle prontos y para seguir hablando de estas cuestiones en la lengua que preferimos, si el COVID nos permitirá pronto vernos.
Sí, porque queremos ir a Venecia pronto.
Le esperamos.
Marco, I want
Gracias.
one little more thing, please.
Yes.
You know, we love Venice, and we are very, very comfortable in the Iuav. We have big friends, and all of this, W.A.Ve, Iuav, and Venice has to do with this very special friend that he was, Enrico Fontanari. So I want to dedicate this lecture for him. Okay, so
Thank you
for all the friends that we have because of him, and thank you and all the organization. Okay,
thank you.
Thank you.